Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to 1000 Lives. And after some time, finally back to recording during day. But well, that won't last long actually. But okay, to the story. Without incident, since I'm now behind the wheel, we managed to safely return the vehicle to its parking spot. I carefully placed the keys back in the drawer I'd originally found them in, imagining the face of that unfortunate man paying the price of his daughter's justice. I'm not really sure if she's a daughter, to be honest. When I get back to the school gates and meet up with Lucy again, she's facing away from me, distracted by something. Oh, that was really fast. It's not like I went that far away. It's never far enough when it comes to you, Juan. Don't give me nicknames whenever you feel like it. I told you that my name is Ciaran. Now what? We're even now, right? You wanted proof that you can trust me, and now you even have something that you can blackmail me with, so don't keep complaining. Really? To be honest, I'm not really convinced yet. I'm still going to need something more to trust you. That's your problem now. I have already done my part. But that's not true, John. It wasn't Joan. It was John. And my name is Ciara. See? Run! John was a pseudonym that I came up with to escape. But I clearly said you had to fulfill some requirements. Requirements! That's plural, don't you see? This was only the first requirement. The second is for you to show me that secret place you mentioned earlier. The third, fourth, fifth and sixth. We'll see. If a genie gave you 3 wishes, normally you want to ask for more, am I right? I raise a finger questioningly, trying to figure out how to react to such nonsense, but she's right. For some reason I was thinking that her intentions were pure, and then I ended up getting myself into this mess. Cat got your tongue? If you have nothing left to say, let's get going already. Normally in these types of situations I'd react by sending her straight to hell and angrily punching the closest wall I could find, or vice versa. It was really stupid of me to do all of this, but as I've already said, I will fulfill my promises and bets. I'm not gonna go back on my word now. I can't live with a clear conscience if I know that I have an unfulfilled promise left. It doesn't matter if that promise is totally unfair, and it deceived me with its tricky wording, meaning to take advantage of me. Okay, you did say requirements, so let's settle on a limit right now. Alright, a limit. Considering I've already spent 2, it would be unfair to leave it like that, even though I didn't know there was a limit. How about a limit of 5 total? 3 more requirements? Are you crazy? You mentioned a genie a bit ago. The 3, that's plenty of favors. How about we meet in the middle and leave it 4? Okay, 4, who cares? Great, because I would have accepted 2 of 3. 2. In fact, I'm surprised that we even negotiated it. Any sane person would have assumed that I was joking. I wasn't being serious at first. I just wanted to tease you with the requirements thing. But if you're so generously offering, then I won't refuse. I suddenly realized how much of a fool I've been being over this old girl. I fell for all of her tricks. A free fall without a parachute. An unclear destiny. I lose my composure and my usual smug behavior is torn away from me. I've been defeated by my equal. Our conversation doesn't make any sense. The stuff about the requirements doesn't make any sense. When I'm patient, I don't get angry, but instead vulnerable. I'm not the kind of person who gets caught up in my anger. I'm mostly cool-headed in every situation, but when there is a crisis, my will bleeds and I end up agreeing to anything that comes my way until I eventually find the best moment to escape all of it. Now would be a good moment to make a run for it. Nevertheless, it's true that I'm a man of my word, not a liar. Yeah, right. For better or worse, I have to keep going until I fulfill that which I am responsible for. I've already told you that I fulfill all of my promises. Even if it was a trap, I'd still honor on it. And, well, whatever happens, happens. In the end, maybe you're sincere after all. I thought you were different. Not that this is bad either. Lucy flashes a cunning smile, a mixture of dark and pernicious joy that I somehow find appealing. Well then, gentle sir, you still have a special place to show me. How about we hit the road now? With the car? No. On the outskirts of town, beyond the park, near the abandoned neighborhood, there is a small unfinished library. It isn't actually only a library, but also a cultural center with special rooms to practice painting, music and ceramics, among other things. They never managed to finish it, so one of the wings of the buildings is in ruins. The other wing is in perfect condition and, except for a lack of water and electricity, it's an ideal hangout. As we stand in front of the abandoned building, I pop open the hardy door, not by pushing it but by picking the lock. When we get inside, I show Lucy the way to what was, until now, my secret hideout. Holy crap, it's so awesome! Oh my, so you weren't lying when you said it was a great place. Aside from the dust, it all seems new. How is it possible that nobody has taken any of the stuff? They left in a hurry, just like with the rest of the urbanization plan. They probably ran out of money to collect everything, or they thought they'd continue in the future and forgot about it. Who knows? Free furniture for the house! Point is, this place is pretty far away and secluded, so nobody ever comes here. It's like my own personal hideout. Don't tell anyone, or that would be the end of my luck. Okay? Oh, and don't wander too far in here. The older wing isn't really in the best condition, so it's dangerous. You already told me that 1,000 times on the way here. Yeah, I'll be careful. But the rest is amazing. It could even be open in this state. There's already furniture and even some books over here. This wing of the building was open for a limited time before they abandoned it. Almost everything remained here, so that's a good thing for us, I guess. In any case, looks can be deceiving. There is no maintenance and most of the stuff is broken somehow, so it's not really safe. For that reason, I only use the library. But back to my point. I fulfilled my part, so now you don't have to draw in an uncomfortable playground in the middle of nowhere. Lucy nods at everything I say, although her expression obviously expresses that she's thinking about something else as she circles around the tables in the room. She stands still with her eyes fixated out the large window and begins talking to me. Tell me, you've seen my drawings. What do you think about them? My sincere opinion. Lucy nods once again. You're good. Not the best I've seen, but I'm convinced that you've got something special. I'd like to ask you to never write anything in your life again, Fall. I see. The concepts are still interesting, Fall, especially considering how hard it is to draw fantasy without any references. I think you have talent but need a bit more practice. I'm no expert, Fall. Seriously? You think I have a talent? Lucy sighs in relief and then shoots me a skeptical look. She turns around, making eye contact with me, wearing a new serious and intimidating demeanor. Nobody has ever told me that I have talent before, not sincerely at least. Yeah, some people tell me that I draw well, others just make comments about it. Truthfully, I've never fully committed myself to drawing. Doodling in the margins of notebooks isn't really drawing. The expectations between the two are completely different, and when you do try do something real, something unique, it turns out not being any different from the sketch in the margin. How can you show that to anyone else when you can't even face the reality of it yourself? Then you start repeating, I'll need to practice, but it doesn't matter how long you spend, the improvement is minimal. And 2 days after you meet someone who has never drawn anything in his life, you finally learn not to mistake compliments with real talent. How can I show anything I've drawn to anyone? There's no way I can proudly talk about the work I'll spend weeks creating when someone else could draw the same thing in several minutes. When can I say that I finally learned to draw? When will I finally be able to show off a masterpiece? The worst is how. Even when you find an artist who's worse than you, it turns out that they just have their own style. Even if you don't understand the difference between style and talent, you have to believe them anyways, because you're really a nobody. Your self-esteem gets crushed because you don't have the privilege of doubt, and who's to say they're wrong? Did I do something to earn that privilege? Only kids make an argument with a praise as trivial as I don't care what others say, because you know what? They do matter. They matter so much because the only way to truly see ourselves is in the reflection given us by others. Well, that's true. You learn to imitate, improve from criticism, and help others improve in return. From our taste to our maturity, everything depends on our relationship with others, and denying it because it's convenient is wrong. That's also true. After all, I thought I was a good artist who, whenever someone would tell me that they liked my meaningless doodles, why would I turn a deaf ear to the truth during the hard times? It would be unfair of me. But there is nothing that can prepare you for the bitter taste than real justice leaves behind. Also true. Lucy folds her arms, her eyes unsure whether they want to express pride or embarrassment, for finally revealing her true feelings. But she pushes her feelings aside and resumes speaking in spite of my total astonishment, and in spite of the unexpected context of her speech. Now you know the reason as to why I don't like telling anyone about my little hobby. It's no more than that, just a pastime. I don't want to mention it, cause if someone tells me that I have talent, if someone encourages me to go for the next level, then I have to carry the weight of the consequence. Don't think it's better for me to try to find the motivation to continue on my own, my true talent? Lucy looks confused after her last rhetorical question. She shakes her head a bit, switching out her sullen face for the usual smug smile I'm used to seeing. And now you've gone and dared to tell me I have talent. Look at what you've done, given me hope and everything. How am I supposed to react? Oh yeah, I have an idea. How about I read this aloud? Reaching to her pocket, Lucy retrieves something. It's rectangular and small, like a notebook, and incredibly familiar notebook. My notebook! When did you steal it? Give it back! In the car. It fell when you gave your license to the officer. It basically fell on top of me and I couldn't resist looking at it, considering it's the famous notebook Ziva mentions so often. When you went to return the keys, I read through it a little, although I don't understand it at all. What is this, some kind of fairy tale? I'm so embarrassed. I try to read my notebook from Lucy, but she turns her back to me and starts reading through it again. Reaching the sun, chapter 1, the right and the left. So foretold the tales that once upon a time. Wait, give me that! No way, teasing is too much fun. I finally managed to grab my notebook out of her hands. The first thing I do is check all of the pages, making sure that nothing is amiss. It's not like I've memorized each and every page, especially not when I have the habit of ripping out some of the pages. It's a bad habit I've developed, and at this point I do it without thinking. I told you about my embarrassing secrets. Oh, you told me yours. It's only fair. Also, I'd say I like what I read, but I didn't have time to finish. You don't let me write stories in free time or what? First, don't ever touch my stuff without my permission. Second, it's not like I'm dedicated to it. I don't ever even think about the stories I write. It's something I do because it happens. And what happens next in Reaching the Sun? I don't know, I just started it. You don't know? Aren't you the author of it? I sigh. It's like Lucy has to get away with everything she does, and now she's stringing me along from one place to another without giving me time to think. I have a bad feeling about all of this, but I can see the eyes of the car thief shining with curiosity. She won't be letting me off the hook this easily. I'm not good at writing endings, okay? You know, I have some ideas, yeah, but the more I progress through the story, the less control I have over it, until finally it ends. Reaching the Sun is a really simple and short story that I wasn't even planning on writing, so I don't know how it will continue. Well, that's a pity. Don't leave things unfinished, man. Look, to tell you the truth, I was also about to give up my drawing hobby not too long ago. You saw the garbage in the playground with your own eyes. I don't want to show the world something that I myself don't like, all those failed attempts. It's like I was saying before about motivation. I've been thinking, and maybe I need someone around who will force me to keep working. Someone by my side that forces me to do it, even if I die from embarrassment along the way, and even if I realize that I'm not cut out to be a real artist. What can I say? I couldn't think of anyone who would help me in that way. You know how everyone is. They're playing the game until they can eventually toss everything aside. But now there's someone who knows my secret, and I can't do anything to hide it from him anymore. I don't like where we're going with this. Why not? The more you think about it, the harder it is to take the plunge. It's crazy and we both know it, but it's going to happen and you can't stop it. Don't they make decisions without me. I'm not gonna accept that. But you already did a while ago. I want to continue writing your story, but from now on, it won't collect dust in your notebook. We can come here together from time to time and keep each other company while we walk. You on your story and me on my drawing skill. That way maybe I can even use what you write as inspiration for my illustrations. The things we are both impressed about can become something we share, our little secret. Didn't I say it before? Two people can't really become friends until they share a secret between them. Yeah, and you almost got us killed too. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't believe we'll get very far with your plan. I was a total stranger not long ago, wasn't I? A pervert even. So what with this sudden change of heart? It's either a hunch or insanity, or maybe I'm just tired of the usual monotony and any excuse for change is good, and you just happen to be the first to offer that. You'll have to find a different nut to go along with your plan. Incorrect. You've already accepted so long as you didn't lie to me earlier. John McLazy, this is my third requirement. From this moment onwards, I want us to meet up here regularly to work together. Together, we'll finish your fairy tale. Okay. Well, I wouldn't mind. You keep getting my name wrong on purpose to mess with me, right? John McLazy. Okay. Reaching the Sun, Chapter 1. The Right and the Left. So foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf without a past on memory who wanted to reach the sun. On the occasion that a wolf stops being useful to his pack, that wolf will become a solitary creature until the day it dies. There once was a wolf who couldn't or didn't want to find his own place to rest eternally. Since then he has been wandering the land, erasing his trail with each step, always with a melodious pace like a sad song, trying to find a glimmer of happiness. Even after leaving his footprints on more than 1,000 roads, the wolf realized he was unable to ever find happiness, for he didn't know where to look, more lost in his thoughts than on his path. He heard a great wise man exclaim that happiness came from the sun. Of course he couldn't understand these words, nor could he ask for an explanation. Bereft of any other clues, he decided to go to the sun. It was unfortunate for the wolf that he didn't know how to get there. Getting involved in a trip like no other he had made before, he now wondered how he could solve his dilemma. However, it didn't take long for the wolf to find a possible answer to his conundrum. He came upon the wagon of Momo's circus. There were two odd characters that just appeared before the wolf, a jester and a clown, or maybe a clown and a jester. One was fully dressed in white, the other in black. Their height difference was so apparent that it was impossible to make eye contact with them at the same time. Okay. How are you, my friend? Friend, how are you? The two noisy yet merry comedians exchanged gazes, smiles and words as if they shared one unified mind. The wolf, confused, didn't know what to say. They weren't going giving him a chance to say anything. They were too caught up in each other. All the wolf managed to ask was for their names. Her name's right, the short black clown stated as he pointed to his partner. His name is Left, the tall white jester stated as she pointed to her partner. Who are you? They asked while smiling as they both pointed at the wolf in unison. The wolf didn't hear them, or maybe chose not to. His mind was too focused on what seemed to be a hint to his mystery. Both of them looked quite happy. He thought, and their trait requires them to share their happiness with the world. Maybe they knew how to reach the sun or get closer to it. Convinced by his own reasoning, the wolf quickly asked them if they knew of a way to reach that giant, flaming, shiny ball in the sky. The two opposites shrugged, surprised that the wolf would ask such a weird question. And why would you want to go so far away? They questioned him. A wolf that wants to reach the sun, Right pondered. Oh, now I know who you are. The clown and the jester huddled together, certain of the wolf's identity. What was that name, Right? It was, I got it, Right snapped his fingers. It's Skull! Why would be the name? Left dismissed with a gesture. Hattie, his name is Hattie! The two performers began arguing about the wolf's identity, forgetting about his presence. The canine, tired of their bickering, bared his fangs at them and asked for attention. "He got mad, right?" said the short, black jester, gloomily pointing at the wolf. "I think we made him angry, Left," said the tall, white clown, gloomily pointing to the wolf. They looked at each other and sighed in unison. Then, as if an apology, they decided to answer the wolf's question. Right stood in front of the wolf, Left behind him. The first one to speak was Right, who from that distance looked smaller than usual. To Left's right, on the other side of the sea, you can see the sun rising. The wolf turned around. Left raised her right arm and pointed to the east from the distance. She appeared to be even taller than before. "To Right's right, behind the mountains, you'll see the sun setting," said Left. The wolf turned around again. Right raised his right arm in tangent, pointing to the west. "If you want to reach it, then you will have to race towards Left's left," Right exclaimed. The wolf looked at Left. Left raised his left arm this time. The wolf didn't really mind running if it meant he could finally reach the sun. He wasn't the fastest in the animal kingdom. He was a wounded wolf after all, but he considered himself fast enough to surpass the pace of the calm, celestial body. "It may look slow," said Left, as he turned himself around. "But it's the exact opposite," said Right as she turned around. "Because most likely it has already won," they said before, shrugging in unison. The wolf felt confused and a little angry when Right smiled as she turned her back to him, and Left cried as he turned his white back to him. But it was as they told him. The sun always rose from one direction and fell from another. If the wolf waited behind the mountains, he could catch it as it passed. Grateful for the help he received, the wolf said goodbye to the strangers, who had only become even more strange after speaking. Waving their hands right and left, asked the wolf one last question. "Which is your name then? Skull or Hattie?" The wolf sighed as he closed his eyes and gently shook his head. "I'm just a wolf," he answered. "So be it if that's what you wish to call me." The wolf decided to go west, behind the mountains, certain he had found the answer he had sought out. But once he arrived there, he realized that the sun kept going even further, beyond the towns. Still, he continued chasing it beyond the towns, but the sun kept running, setting little by little behind the fields. Next, he ran through the fields, and when he finally thought he would be able to meet the sun as it was setting, he found that it went further, beyond, past the sea. From the shore, the wolf was unable to do anything. He felt powerless for being unable to reach the sun. Tired, he lay down on the sand. His pride crushed after discovering that the jester and the clown were right. He couldn't win against the slow sun in a race. His target has disappeared, giving way to the night, leaving only the wind and the darkness as the wolf's companions. The wolf had to seek shelter before it got too dark outside, but he was tired and in pain. He could barely move at all and the time was running short. He wondered what he could do. Everything was the sun's fault for deceiving him and running away like that. Those two silly tricksters were also at fault for not warning him beforehand. How could the sun bring happiness like this? Something so deceptive couldn't bring any joy. Night came and the wolf expected the worst as he closed his eyes, fearing any danger. But none ever came. After opening his eyes, he could see the beach, perfectly illuminated by a cold and beautiful silver cloak. It was the moon. It had listened and answered the wolf's prayers, offering to him the shimmering help he had needed. The wolf was grateful, but the moon was so far away, it was difficult for her to hear the wolf. So he filled his lungs and raised his head in determination. And the resounding cold covered the sea and the skies with a feeling of gratitude. So foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf without a past or memory who wanted to reach the sun. And we will begin chapter 3 right now. Gonna admit it! You gonna admit you're killed? Oz tries to blind me with the light of his cell phone as he is interrogating me. I believe I can take his cell phone and rip off his entire hand with a single bite, but I instead opt to control my cannibalistic instincts. Proof doesn't lie. You lied to us about what happened on D-Day, so I won't accept any of your pitiful excuses. What did you do with my sexy Flaminica Dialis yesterday? I'm totally in favor of you using Roman tiles if you're consistent about it, but that girl has her own name. I won't deny that a lot of things happened, but I have to keep it a secret. Not everything that happened was even legal. Campanero, you could get her pregnant, wrapped up! Is that all you think about? You're right, that's impossible. It's you we're talking about here. I don't even know where did I take the if, but whatever. And if I'm involved in it, then you have no chance whatsoever. At least not until after I score first. Someday we'll have to work on that mental image of me you've created. Classes end and for another day. Oz and I leave the school together, although he falls behind a bit as he says goodbye to a few of his friends. I wouldn't mind telling Oz the truth, but I'd have to tell him everything that happened, or else I'd have him thinking that I assault people. The problem is Lucy. She made a promise that I wouldn't tell anyone about her hobby or our new partnership in general, and that yes, I accepted her unreasonable deal in the end. We made that bet during the basketball match, so now I have to deal with it. What I'm not really convinced about is whether or not it's possible to hide the existence of our new meetings at the library. What am I even thinking? It's not like I actually care if anyone finds out. I'll do my part and I won't snitch, but if someone gets suspicious, I can't stop them. Earlier, Steve asked something about going to the makeup committee meeting, the one for the grad and pro stuff, since the meeting yesterday didn't turn out so well. Oz catches up with me after he says his goodbyes to his friends, but the vibration of his cell phone makes him pause for a second. He excuses himself as slides his thumb over the screen and discovers an enormously unwelcome surprise. Not again! Sir! I lean my head towards my friend, feigning indifference despite having a terrible hunch about what it may be. You couldn't possibly still be logged into my email account. This time I'll admit I left it logged in on purpose. After what happened last time, I wanted to know if it would happen again. It did. Oz tries to show me the screen, but instead I grab it from him directly and peer at the screen. There it is, sent only a few minutes ago. Another email from the mysterious sender. Harry something, Sierra and Indian. Not for everybody. Can you accept a fake reality? There is no going back after the first step, nor can taking back what was lost be considered winning. If after knowing the truth you still wish to be sincere, be careful, because that will make you the greatest liar. Until forever, and good luck with the first consequence. I stand still, completely paralyzed. Finally, Oz says what I've been thinking after he reads the content of the email. What? That's what I'm wondering. What's the meaning of this? This email is slightly different from the other two. This time it says until forever. Does that mean this is going to be the last email? I guess so. I just wanted my figurine, but the first sentence clearly states that you can't take back what's lost, nor are you able to undo anything. Whoever sent this is making fun of me, saying that I will never see her. And what's the rest supposed to mean? If you're sincere, then you will become the greatest liar. Isn't that contradictory? Well, not really. The ends of the emails up until now were the same. I don't know if I should be angry or happy that there won't be more. All I really know is that I won't take the bait ever again. Yeah, he will. The mystery remains unsolved. Without any clues or hope, maybe I should forget about all of it. Maybe you should. I already got enough to deal with. I had to meet with Lucy in the library this afternoon again. Thinking of which, I still have a few hours until it's time to meet up. There's still time, but since it's my secret base anyways, I'm not gonna stop using it because there's a new squatter there. I'll decide to head to the library early. It isn't that easy enough, Once I reach the park, I run to someone who stops me in my tracks. That's the girl! Alright, let's end the episode here. This really is interesting. Alright, hope you enjoyed it. And see you in the next part of this game. 1000 lives. Alright, bye bye.